Hi there, this is Mary Ann, and this is my final client project presentation for Gabby Shook, entitled Rebranding a Personal Image. So Gabby Shook is a graduate from Kent State University with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in musical theater. So this is going to be unlike maybe other branding projects that you've seen, because this is not necessarily branding a company or a business, but instead an individual. So Gabby Shook, as an actress, we're going to be rebranding her. So she has worked with Bright Star Touring Theater and Porthouse Theater, among many others, and she's actually currently on a gig right now in Pittsburgh, performing a show over there. And then afterwards, she plans to move to New York City. So she really wants to have these branding standards set in place before she makes the big move, so that she can be like on top of her game when she gets out there. So the visual communication problem is that currently all the materials that Gabby has have all been made by herself. And so she really wants to put her personality and branding throughout all of her images. Right now, she doesn't have a website nor a business card. So I am going to come up with new photos, a resume, business cards, and a website that all really show her personality and have consistent branding throughout all the pieces. So she desires to have the professional edge, as I said, and to really show her personality and how versatile she can be, like, as an actress. And all of these will show her personality, as well as keeping with like the branded standards that I have set in place. So the goals and the objectives that we really sought after were to appeal to an audience of all ages, from fans to casting directors. Now, Gabby performs for fans that are as young as like 5 years old, and then she could be auditioning for casting directors that are like 80. So as you can see, the market that we're trying to gear this towards is kind of broad. So instead, we're going to focus on really honing in on what Gabby is and putting herself out there. Instead of focusing on what the audience wants, we're just focusing on Gabby's truest self and putting that as her brand. So all of the materials that I'll be designing have to be fully operable and maintained by Gabby herself, because after I'm done designing them, she is taking full control. So all of them have to be in programs or easy designs that I'll make that she can easily pick up and are able to maintain on a moment's notice when maybe a new job has come up or she needs to update her resume or what have you. So with that being said, I'm going to create a strong brand and personality using consistent fonts, colors, and imagery. I'm going to ensure that my creative insights meets the visions of my clients and establish strong communication with a client through bi-weekly emails and phone calls, as well as researching the branding norms for other actresses in the industry, because they're a lot different than like business norms for branding. And then design a practical and appealing website, photos and design materials that express Gabby's personality, and create photos and designs that will compel viewers to want more information on Gabby by maybe going to their website and inquiring for more. And then I'll review all the final deliverables and modify any suggested changes that my peers or Gabby might have herself. So the solution and process that I did for each of the elements, such as the photography, resume, business cards, and website, I followed all these processes. So I met with the client to plan out the process, and then I conducted research. I created a timeline and budget. I made sketches and comps, even right down to the photo shoot. I made sketches of poses and such, and then I consulted the client before implementing any of these concepts, and conducted evaluations of the projects and consulted with the client on any of the necessary revisions. So the first project that we did was the photography, so the photo shoots. And we did 3 looks in 3 different locations, but only 1 photo shoot. And this was to really show her different sides of her personality and show how diverse she can be as an actress. So everything was geared off of her one headshot that she had and was here to stay. This was a headshot on the right that you can see. It was taken professionally for a show that she did a while back. So this is the one branded thing that she did have set in place. So everything was kind of designed around this, like having this in mind. So all the colors were taken, like the purple from all the branding materials was taken off of the purple of her shirt, and so on. So I set a color scheme that worked off of like the deep purple and the reds that you can see through her shirt and her hair, and then I made poses that really showed her personality. And in the end, we actually came away with 120 different photos. So we kind of went a little crazy, but you can see each shoot kind of shows a different part of Gabby. And then moving on, I did her marketing materials, which is her resume and her business card. And I did a lot of research, making sure I understood exactly what sets a theater or acting resume apart from a business one. And I made sure that the branding was consistent and that like the resume was very logical and easy to read, because the one that she currently had was very, very hard to follow. And then for the business card, I made sure that it contained her headshot and also appealed to her website as well as the resume. So on the left you can see the resume, and on the right you can see the business card, and it's only a one-sided business card just to save on cost. And so then we also have the website that, just as with the other materials, is going to stay consistent with the branding, and it needs to contain the her photos, her bio, her resume, her videos, and her contact information. I want to ensure that it was also very simple and not overdone or cluttered, because from my research I found a lot of websites had unneeded stuff that kind of just confused the viewer and deterred them from why they're really there. So I wanted to make sure it was simple and easy to follow, and also showed her personality, much like all the other materials, and was logical and easy to use. So we found a hosting site that was inexpensive, and Gabby actually picked it out because she felt like her friends and others in the industry were using it, and she felt like she could easily pick it up and was able to take control of it once I would be done with it. So we used Wix.com, and below you can see that link, but Gabby does have control of it now, so she might have turned it off. So I want to ensure that you guys could see it, and I put on all of the screenshots of some of the pages. So the top left is the home page, the right is the bio, and then photos on the left, and then the contact page with the scrolling slideshow from some of the photos that we took of her. So the results of the solution, I would say overall the project was very well received, fortunately enough. And then if I could do anything different, I would definitely redo the order in which I actually made the projects, just because I did the website last, and since I was unfamiliar with Wix, I didn't really realize that it's a very juvenilely based program. So a lot of the templates don't let you kind of deter from what they want you to design it as. So all the comps that I made kind of had to be reconfigured and stuff to meet their standards, and then all the materials that I had kind of had to be redone to then comply with the website instead of vice versa. So I had to make everything look like the website instead of making the websites look like the photos and the marketing materials that I already had done. So through like the evaluation that I had from my peers in the industry professionals, I think I proved that all the objectives really showed or all the projects really met the objectives and showed her personality, and the client was pleased, so I was pleased, and I had fun doing it. So the lessons that I learned was that designing for compatibility and the user in mind is kind of challenging, since I had to make sure that all my designs were simple enough for Gabby to be able to understand and do it herself, which was kind of an interesting challenge. And then research is key. You can't just assume that you really understand something. Like, you still have to do research to make sure that you do know what you're talking about, because luckily I had background knowledge of the acting industry, and I knew that their resumes differ. But if somebody was just like, oh, I know how to make a resume, I'll make one for you, and they didn't do that research, they wouldn't really realize how different they really are from one another. And then self-motivation and communication is definitely key, especially considering that I only met with Gabby the one time, and the rest of the time she was in Pittsburgh. So I really had to make sure that I was motivated to reach out with her and create the communication that we needed to get the projects done and everything. But in the end, it all worked out, and I really enjoyed working with my client, and I'm happy with everything turned out. So thank you for listening.